Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Free Marketeers News. Hope you're all doing well, that you had a good week. This is just a quick roundup of the latest big news items for the week ending 18 June 2021. I'll take you through some of the items that caught my eye, some of the things that we've been writing about and covering as well here at the Free Market Foundation. To jump off, of course, the biggest one is that South Africa has moved to level 3 of lockdown. Earlier this week, President Ramaphosa addressed the nation. Just some of the changes from that move to level 3 so that you have all the details available. The hours of curfew are now from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Non-essential establishments such as bars and fitness centers must close at 9 p.m. All gatherings will be limited to 50 people indoors and 100 people outdoors. Where the venue is too small to accommodate appropriate social distancing, 50% of the floor space may be used. Attendance at funerals and cremation may not exceed 50 people. Night vigils and after-funeral gatherings remain prohibited. The sale of alcohol for off-site consumption is permitted between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. from Monday to Thursday. So if you didn't get your alcohol earlier this week, I'm afraid you're out of luck now for the weekend. On-site alcohol consumption may continue until 9 p.m., subject to liquor licenses. And finally, alcohol use in public is strictly prohibited. So we're moving now to level 3. Let's see what happens in terms of cases and that kind of thing. Gauteng apparently is experiencing a high volume of COVID-19 cases. From our position, of course, it's not necessarily going to help. Just locking down is only going to damage the economy. But let's see what happens now in the next few weeks and months. South Africa's vaccine rollout, of course, has been quite constrained and not performing as well as its neighboring countries in Africa. Let's see if the government is going to step it up a bit. The second item, doubts around South African Airways, and this is from an article by Carol Payton at the Business Day where I got this information. So please go and read the article if you'd like more in-depth detail. So Harith General Partners, which was named last week as the private equity investor in SAA, has not yet determined the vehicle it will use to invest in the airline or the source of the capital, the company said in response to questions on Tuesday. Takatso, which is a consortium of Harith and Global Aviation, is set to acquire 51% of SAA, when this was indicated by Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan last week, Friday. Takatso will also have to raise new capital for the venture. Though Harith has 15 years of experience in raising finance in capital markets for large capital projects, market participants have expressed some skepticism since the deal was announced about whether Takatso will be able to raise the 3 to 5 year debt for SAA. It is not likely that Treasury will assist and guarantee working capital loans raised by SAA in the future, at least not with the current finance minister, but who knows if he were to leave his post whether Treasury would change their view. And the Public Investment Corporation, PIC, which owns 30% of Harith, has denied that Takatso is simply a channel for government money to channel government money into the purchase. So lots of excitement last week around the possible quote-unquote privatization of SAA, but now some concerns around where the money's coming from, who's funding what. Is it really simply continuing government control in different guises, sort of in disguise, as it were? I think with anything that the government is involved in, we should be as skeptical as possible. So let's see what happens with SAA. Next item, South Africa's tax base has taken a big knock following the negative impact of the COVID-19 lockdowns on jobs in 2020. The South African Revenue Service expects to have 6.9 million taxpayers in 2021, down substantially from 7.6 million in 2019. Professional services firm PwC said that hundreds of thousands of low-skilled workers lost their jobs in 2020, with little to no income placing them below the personal income tax threshold. In turn, the number of high-income workers has remained relatively stable between 2019 and 2021 because higher-skilled workers were less likely to lose their jobs in 2020, according to PwC. The firm also noted that personal income taxes are collected from an increasingly small pool of taxpayers. If you don't get services from your municipality and from the government, if you see lots of corruption, is the probability perhaps a little bit higher that you're going to try and avoid paying as much tax as you quote-unquote should? It is estimated that just 25% of those who pay income tax pay 80% of all personal income tax that is collected in South Africa. Over the past few years, a smaller proportion of taxpayers has become responsible for an increasingly large proportion of total personal income tax payable. I also recommend that you go and read a bit up on the Laffer curve and the idea around when government taxes citizens too much, whether they simply find ways to not pay taxes and then government tax revenue declines, which in turn means service delivery for poorer citizens also declines. Maybe we're in that spiral now in South Africa. Finally, our main news item for the weekend. This is for the picture on the screen that you can see throughout this episode and that I want to focus on now, centers around digital vibes, the Department of Health, and suspended Health Minister Zweli Mkhize. So the figure on your screen is Dr. Pello. He is the mascot for South Africa's proposed national health insurance scheme. And it looks like, according to Daily Maverick and Scorpio, a journalist and writer, Peter Louis Meiberg, he has said that Dr. Pello apparently cost the Department of Health around 1.1 million rand in cash. According to documents that Scorpio has obtained, and again, I recommend you go and read the article on the Daily Maverick website. According to these documents, Digital Vibes paid a local animation studio roughly 266,000 rand to create Pello, a 3D Nguni cow character outfitted in a doctor's coat and spectacles. Pello was due to be rolled out as a mascot for the NHI. The Department of Health ended up paying a grossly inflated price for the work. In an invoice submitted in February 2020, Digital Vibes first billed the Department of Health 800,000 rand for quote-unquote animation 3D development. Another invoice from March 2020 included a further 300,000 rand charge with the same description. In other words, Digital Vibes billed the department 1.1 million rand for an outsourced animation project that cost only 266,000 rand in reality. This translates to a massive 314% markup and netted the firm 834,000 rand in pure profit. When the sun is shining, as the saying goes, you've got to make money. As het pap reën, moet jy skep. That sort of indicates just how entwined politics has become with the economy and all the issues around Dr. Zweli Mkhize and alleged corruption now during his time at the Department of Health throughout the pandemic, and now with this sort of rollout of this little cow who is going to represent South Africa's NHI. But, you know, that goes to show you, I hope that more and more people are starting to realize that the NHI scheme will not alleviate any of South Africa's health problems, and also it's not going to be corruption-free, as many of its defenders try to sell it. The chances for corruption are simply going to be higher if South Africa implements the NHI. It will effectively create the country's biggest ever state-owned enterprise, and people are going to want to be involved and make sure that their own bottom lines the benefit from that they get the proceeds from that. And there's no guarantee that service delivery to poorer South Africans is actually going to improve, or that the country will attain quality universal health coverage in the long run. On that note, I want to thank you all for joining me for another news episode. Please keep an eye out for more episodes in the coming weeks. Our next live podcast will be on 1 July. That's with Dr. Jeroen Broek of the Ayn Rand Institute. We'll be talking about why South Africa needs capitalism after the COVID-19 pandemic. So I hope that you'll all join us for that. Please like this video if you enjoyed the content. Please also subscribe to our channel, and you can find all of our articles, press releases, and research at www.freemarketfoundation.com. I hope all of you have a good weekend. Take care, stay safe out there. We'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.